now with the academic session. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am honoured to welcome you to this graduation ceremony, of which third level awards will be conferred on learners of Setanta College. We are delighted to be able to return to our in-person graduation ceremony, and thanks to everyone who has joined us today. We also welcome those that join us online today through the live stream of the ceremony. Is lá an bhrodú agus speisialta é seo doing, Bachelor, agus bóáil an cogardas a dhéanamh leat as dó rá a bhaint amach. This is a very proud and special day for us all, and I would like to congratulate you on achieving your success. To begin, I would like to introduce to you some of the academic faculty of Setanta College. Professor Liam Hennessy, College President, Dr. David McHugh, Programme Leader, Dr. Philip Hennessy, Chair of our Academic Council, Dr. Damien Young, Programme Leader, Mr. Des Ryan, Director of Coaching and Performance, Mr. Kieran Sheffrin, Mr. Ronan Hogan, and Mr. Luke Jordan. To begin, the order of ceremonies is as follows. When I conclude, Professor Liam Hennessy, College President, will deliver the conferring address. We will then progress to the ceremony itself. We have cohorts from 7 programs and 148 graduates from these programs. Our certificate in functional screening and resistance training, of which there are 12 graduates. Our certificate in fitness and conditioning, of which there are 30 graduates. Our certificate in advanced personal training, of which there are 2 graduates. Our certificate in strength and conditioning, of which there are 48 graduates. Our higher certificate of science in strength and conditioning, of which there are 10 graduates. Our Bachelor of Science in Strength and Conditioning, of which there are 17 graduates, and our Master of Science in Performance Coaching, of which there are 29 graduates. So I now call upon Professor Liam Hennessy, President of Setanta College, to address the graduates.
Cordia Viclain came a Tylee co-fortathe in speisialta agus fáildéireann an Coláiste, ba bhalla mar son Coláiste Setanta, fáilte mór a choróibh I liú as an Ceremonies grádathe. Tá áthasóiring a rís a bheith anseo chun an cháid amháin agus a chéiliúra libh. Graduates and parents, families and friends, special guests, and members of staff, I want to warmly welcome you here today. To those who have arrived from near and far, and also to those who are joining us remotely, a very warm welcome. We are conferring awards in the second session today, having done so already this morning. Thomas has outlined the various certificates and degrees in which we would make the award this afternoon. And we are also presenting individual awards for excellence within each program of study. Our graduates today represent many different nationalities, and we will confer those who are not here with us in absentia. But on this special day, we would also like to remember a coaching colleague and a graduate, Rory O'Connor, and to remember Rory and his family, his wife Geraldine, sons Sean and Daniel. Rory is remembered as we present the Rory O'Connor Perpetual Award for Excellence in the Bachelor of Science in Strength and Conditioning. We're also delighted to present graduates of the Masters in Performance Science, and that will be jointly awarded with our partner university, the Master of Science through Irish American University. For all graduates, I want to thank you for your perseverance in arriving at this day. The challenges of the last 2 years have been great for all, and we must acknowledge here the continuous patience and support that you have received from your partners, your wives, your families, your friends and colleagues. In knowing what it's like every day and through COVID, where much of everything we did was screen-based, to continue on with studies which is screen-based as well, to lack that face-to-face interaction, not to have the same outdoor and involvement within your coaching involvement. All that added perhaps to the many sacrifices and stresses indeed, as we try to combine home and professional life and study. But here we are today, and lest we take it for granted, I would like to acknowledge the impact that all graduates make, not only within their specific areas of expertise, but within the impact that they'll have and do have and have had at community and society levels. Later, Des Ryan will touch on this area and the immense need for your skills, for your personality traits of patience, of commitment and passion indeed, to work within the community and within society, not just within elite sport. That too. In other words, to work within the breathing, living community that we all exist in. As a practicing coach, I appreciate the great commitment and energy that is required in not just eking out victories in the competition arena, or in motivating and inspiring a client to achieve their personal and performance goals, but in the response we make when victory or defeat has to be dealt with. The practice of coaching can be represented as a sort of amphitheatre of life, where passions, emotions, and all sorts of struggles are condensed into a very short period of time and into a very confined space and place. Your commitment, consistency, and enthusiasm is central in providing, within this amphitheatre of life, the support and encouragement to children, to youth, to young and not so young adults, to cope with and to deal with their challenges as they strive to become fitter, healthier in mind and body, and to strive for their personal and team goals. To do so effectively requires a vast breadth of skills that includes communication, as I've mentioned, empathy, sympathy, support, patience, and resilience. This really is the very essence of coaching, as it is of being an athlete. And for those who may be lucky enough to be participating athletes, also these qualities are very much required. So when it comes to an occasion like today, it is very important to acknowledge the significance of your journey and your contribution and efforts in seeking to learn more about coaching and indeed yourself. so that you can continue to motivate, support, and inspire. So graduates and fellow coaches, ladies and gentlemen and family members, friends and guests, I now hand you back to the college registrar, who will now progress with the award ceremony. Rory and Margaret.
Thanks very much, Professor Liam. So I now call upon Professor Liam Hennessy, President of Setanta College, to confer master's degrees and certificate awards on students of Setanta College on behalf of Quality and Qualifications Ireland and the Irish American University, presented by the college for that purpose. So I request each graduate, when called, to come forward and receive your award. Can I ask people to only give applause to those that are present today to collect their award? Graduates who could not attend today's ceremony will be conferred in absentia. So, President, I present to you the following candidates who successfully completed programs at Setanta College and who are worthy of master's degrees and certificates. I will begin with the graduates from the Certificate in Functional Screening and Resistance Training, and the following learners will be conferred in absentia: Donica Byrne, Colin Cassidy, Conor Clancy, Zachary L. Buzzetti, Sean Gallagher, Danny Healy, Jerry Keegan, Gavin King, Sean Lacey, Joseph Marks, Peter McCarthy, and Kevin O'Regan. I call on Dr. Damien Young, Program Leader, to present graduates of the Certificate in Fitness and Conditioning.
First candidate, Mark Selby. Paul Donnan. Ivan Gore. Noel Mackey. Mary Taylor. Connor Ward. The following candidates will be conferred in absentia: Bill Ahern, Tom Aylward, Louisa Batt, Declan Burns, Olivia Butler, Brian Calvin, Siobhan Carew, Henry Fingleton, John Fitzharris, Connor Floyd, Holly Hunter, Philip Kelly, Adam Lugnan, Eric McCarthy, Gary McCuskey, Lisa Murray, Rory O'Hagan, Coleman O'Reilly, Chris Sexton, Sean Smith, Samuel Trunco, Niall Trucker, Ronnie Welsh, and Michael O'Doherty.
Thanks very much, Damien. The next award is the Certificate in Advanced Personal Training, and the following learners will be conferred in absentia: Conor Nesbitt and Shane Russell. So we move to the next award, the Certificate in Strength and Conditioning. David Butler. Donald Cashin. Jack Coyne. Erica Donnelly Swift. David Jeffries. John O'Dwyer. The following learners will be conferred in absentia: Thomas Brady, William Brennan, Michael Brannock, Amanda Brosnan, Sinead Carley, Hanny Constantinow, Barry Corbett, Robert Cornwall, Liam Cotter, Eamon Cox, Conor Cremin, Kevin Curtin, Alan Devan, Donald Dorgan, Aaron Drynan, Declan Fahy, John Jeffrey, Ruth Jenkinson, Brian Keeley, Kathleen Keating, Brian Kennedy, John Lillis, Alan McCarthy, Kevin Barry McCready, Evan Galvin, Shane McElligott, Evan Mulcahy, Calvin Nash, Kevin O'Brien, Mark O'Callaghan, David O'Dea, Karen O'Dwyer, Dermot O'Hay, Niall O'Mara, Liam Reel, Daniel Russell, Kevin Sexton, James Shields, Colin Smith, Nicholas Jans van Rensburg, Pamela Whelan, and Lucas Wisniewski. So the next award is the Higher Certificate of Science in Strength and Conditioning. Daniel O'Reilly, Emer Ryan, the following learners will be conferred in absentia: David Donnellan, Cian Evans, Ciara Gagan, Mark Higginbotham, Conor McGinley, Cian Morrissey, Shane Rogers, and Nicholas Rubin. I call on Dr. David McHugh, Programme Leader, to present graduates of the Bachelor of Science in Strength and Conditioning.
Mary Barrett, David Daly, Neil Douglas, John Paul Hendrick, Sanita Prospore, Paul Turner, Damien Martin, David O'Keefe, Troy Reniker, Simon Webster, Andrew Willis, Seamus Wallace.
Thank you, David. I call on Dr. Philip Hennessy, Chair of our Academic Council, to present graduates of the Master of Science in Performance Coaching.
Dermot Brennan. Alan Deneen. Andrew Downs. Brian Egan. Lisa Henrik. Milan Klipina. Graham Shine. The following learners will be conferred in absentia: Mary Burnside, Marcelo Campanaro, Christy Karuna, Jordan Cassidy, Michael Deasy, Soham Desai, Sean Dougal, Thomas Gaboris, A.I. Harsha, Richard Hendrick, Niels Hesterman, Tamas Kilama, Aaron Kumar, Shane McAleese, Vivek Ramakrishna, Paul Rose, Brendan Shafik, Kerry Timko, Kevin Tormey, Chris Twerdon, David Toomey, and Brittany Weaver.
Thank you, Philip. We come now to the special award ceremony for excellent achievement in their chosen program of study. I invite Professor Liam Hennessy to present the awards. The first award is for excellence in the Certificate in Functional Screening and Resistance Training 2021. The award goes to Sean Lacey. Unfortunately, Sean cannot join us today to accept his award, but congratulations to Sean on his excellent achievement. Our next award is for excellence in the Certificate in Strength and Conditioning 2021, and the award goes to Barry Corbett. Again, unfortunately, Barry cannot join us today to accept his award, but congratulations to Barry on his excellent achievement. Our next award is for excellence in the Higher Certificate of Science in Strength and Conditioning 2021. The award goes to Kira Gagan. Unfortunately, Kira cannot join us today to accept her award, but congratulations again to Kira on her excellent achievement. Our next award is the Rory O'Connell Perpetual Award for Excellence in the Bachelor of Science in Strength and Conditioning 2021, and the award goes to Sunita Puspuri. Our final individual award, the graduation ceremony, is for excellence in the Master of Science in Performance Coaching Programme 2021. The award goes to Michael Deasy. Unfortunately, Michael cannot join us today to accept his award, but congratulations to Michael on his excellent achievement. So, congratulations to all our award winners on their excellent achievement in their chosen programme of study. This concludes the meeting for the purpose of conferring master's degree certificates and diploma awards on students of Setanta College. I'd like to once again congratulate all of you, our new graduates, on your wonderful achievement, and to thank you for attending this special event for us all. On behalf of Setanta College, I wish you every success in your future coaching endeavours, and I look forward to meeting and working with you all in the future. So thanks once again. And I'd like to reintroduce Professor Liam just for a final reflection.
Graduates, Covgordicus, congratulations and well done. It's been a journey, but a journey that continues as well. And from speaking to many of you earlier, I know that you're already very busy, some of you, and we would love that you would keep in contact. With that in mind, I want to introduce our guest speaker. He needs no introduction really, but Des Ryan is a native of County Galway, and he has never forgotten that. He's a long-standing and highly respected S&C coach and performance coach worldwide. And he's also amassed great experience in working with coaches at all levels in sport. His experience of over 30 years ranges from heading up the S&C program at Connacht Rugby in the early 2000s. In this role, he was hugely instrumental in restoring and reshaping the quality of teams that the province has produced ever since. But he was also central in developing and delivering what can only be considered the model for young athlete development through his work within the Irish Academy and the Irish development system. More recently, his work as the Academy Performance Director at Arsenal. Des has highlighted what a truly world-class programme a structured pathway of development can lead to. And he commenced his work. He has certainly become the preeminent go-to coach for many sport organisations. This year, however, we were delighted, and it was a similar one for us at Setanta, as Des came on board as Director of Performance Coaching. And today we are very pleased that he shares some of his insights into the world of sport performance and even outside of that, as well as reflecting on where we are today and what our needs are in this new challenging world. I introduce Des Ryan.
So, if you can have a small bit of patience there, Des is presenting, and some technical difficulties here with the presentation.
She's back. It's okay.
Okay. Smooth sailing this morning, so.
Thanks, Liam, and congratulations everyone. Fantastic achievement. You should be proud of yourselves, your family, partners, friends. I'm sure they're proud of you. Great achievement. And what I'd like to do is give some advice on what next, and give some suggestions to make what next a bit easier. So Liam was very kind with his introduction. I don't want to spend time talking about myself, apart from making one point, that over the years working with professional teams, eventually I figured out what's really important. What's really important to everybody is not the professional sports people, is the community, is the young people, is the elderly people, is the school kids, is getting people active. That's much more important than the professional sports people, and much more a priority right now. So the work that Mary Barrett has done over the years in East Galway, getting people active and athletic, Alan, the work you do in Cork, getting people active in the local community, far more important. And there's more to be done. So that links in with what to do next. Okay, now what? Well, let me just start with a little quiz, a little question. Who is this famous sports person? Roy Keane, dead right, that's an easy. His head hasn't changed much, but his body has. So, a late developer that came through. A late developer that was obviously enjoyed his journey and got to a high level. But there's many people, as ye have studied, the knowledge ye know, that are late developers that mightn't have been supported as much as we could. So yeah, that's Roy Keane. Now, this is another success story, and I think a bit harder for you, but who is this? That's trickier now.
Michael Phelps.
No. So, a top-level Irish sports person? Devon Toner. You're dead right. So, excellent job, whoever was looking after him, to keep him in sport, to keep him enjoying sport, to do many different sports, to help him through a massive growth spurt. And what was happening, as ye have studied, is normal pre-growth spurt, the body getting ready, bit of puppy fat, stretched out, kept in sport, and successful. So there's so many young people that need your support, your help, and understanding of those stages is important for many reasons. So, why athletic development? That's what everyone will be asking if you're sharing that with the community. Well, all we have to go to is the World Health Organization, a very clever, very important organization, especially in the last few years, and they give advice. They give advice from the leading experts in the world. First one, 60 minutes a day. People, this is for the youth athlete. Young people need to be active 60 minutes a day. And 3 times a week, strengthening muscles and bone. Now, it was very hard for me in the early years, explain to players, parents, doctors, community, that young people should be doing appropriate strength activities. Now, the World Health Organization is encouraging it. It needs to be done. It's not being done for everyone. That's where ye come in. And we need to limit this sedentary behaviour. There's a lot of it about. Then all the population, adults, yeah, encouragement of strength 2 times a week, other targets by the World Health Organization, and older adults. They need to achieve these, but we're not achieving them, hence you're important in this. But you need to think creatively. You need to think outside the box. You may have seen this before, but it's an example, that's all, about how tricky it is to inspire people to be active, how tricky it is to come up with new ideas, how tricky it is to make sessions engaging and entertaining as well. So yeah, you might have seen this before, but a simple concept to change behaviour. Now the behaviour was up the escalator, like I see in London all the time, in the past, thankfully. So people going up the escalator, not going up the stairs. Bit of creativity, bit of ingenuity, and patterns, behaviours change. And sessions are enjoyable and are engaging and are encouraging. So yes, the challenge you have is to come up with new ideas and inspire people to be active. And by coincidence, when I was over in Japan, I saw this in an arcade, and I thought it was much better than the slot machines and game machines within the arcade. So it's not only the World Health Organization, our own HSC encourage guidelines for 2 to 18-year-olds. If we look at the detail, we zoom in, muscle strengthening, athletic development, bone strengthening, athletic development. We need that. We need those minimum guidelines in physical activity. Are we achieving them? No, we're not. If we look at the 15-year-olds in Ireland, did they achieve the recommendations of physical activity? Only 27% of boys, only 13% of girls. So the more impact ye have in the community, the more projects you do, the more work you do, the better. It's needed. Because if we look at obesity, again from the World Health Organization, in the European region, 1 in 3 11-year-olds are overweight or obese. And it's not getting better in the countries that monitor it, it's going up. Ye are becoming very, very important professionals. So, why athletic development? I would suggest the why is about health, well-being and development. So if we look at well-being, if we look at Harvard Medical School, they suggest regular exercise changes the brain to improve memory, thinking and skills. Physical activity helps academia in schools. University College London study boosting benefits of exercise. This will help all round in terms of well-being, in terms of psychological health and benefits. Physical activity help that as well. So health, well-being and development. And we can look at all the sports sciences and maybe psychology. We can lean on the experts on that. We can integrate that into our program. And even here we can see in a busy game in the NBA, LeBron James, I think he is, he's doing mindfulness in the side of the pitch with all that chaos going on because he's used to it. He's integrated into his program. It's helping with his sport and it's helping with his well-being. I'm not supposed to like this guy, but he practices it too. If you watch him before a penalty, he's practicing his breathing. That's brought into his program as well. It's integrated and it helps. So, well-being is helped. Now, this is slightly hard to hear, but it's Michael Jordan, another basketball player. How did athletic development help him? He was slow to embrace it, but one early season he embraced it. So he wanted to administer pain, and he embraced athletic development. And obviously he's very successful. Athletic development didn't win him all those titles, but it helped, it supported it. So in terms of development, it's a very important tool. And here's some young men I was lucky to support. They did all the work, they did all the sessions, they did all the development work, and us as professionals were the people to give them the information and support them. And I'm looking forward to hopefully watching the two of them play for England tonight. But the beauty of having them from a very, very young age to an old age, applying all the concepts that you've studied, all the knowledge that you've gained to help them be athletic. So the benefits according to the NSCA guidelines, there's many in terms of skills, in terms of social well-being, in terms of performance, in terms of movement. There's so much to be gained if we look at all the research. So health, well-being, development. Now, recently we've started supporting teams in Setanta with Setanta Performance. We haven't even announced it yet. We're supporting a good few teams. And like you're getting together what your approach looks like for when you talk to a team, a manager, a coach, players. And this is our approach. And again, it's all the concepts that you've studied. Functional screening at the start. Let's look at these old videos now. Very old videos from back when I was in the RFU. We looked at random young people without athletic development support in school, and we see this before the growth spurt. Not much control, bit of mobility, a lot of work needed. This example, during growth spurt, they begin to tighten up. We did research on it in Arsenal, and we called it arrested development during the growth spurt. They need help. This is general population. Another player past growth spurt, no help from athletic development, people like you, again, a lot of support needed. Now let's look at players with support. So this young player is 13 years, 6 months. He's moving well. He's got good coaches. He can get into better positions on the pitch. He can do more advanced exercises earlier. He's more athletic. This is from the help of athletic development. Fast forward 7 months. He's grown 7 centimetres, that's what happens around 13, but he's still moving well because he's good coaches like yourselves with the knowledge to screen and do athletic development. Fast forward again, he's 15 years of age now. He's sprouted up, he's still moving well. The sign of a good coach, following all the philosophies, knowledge that you've gained. Now he's 16 years, 3 months. He's grown 23 centimetres. He's put on 23 kgs. He can do 28 extra push-ups. He's stronger, but the important thing, he's moving well still because he's good coaches with the same competencies as yourselves. And he's playing professional football now with Bromley, and I presume still moving well. So then, going on to movement skills, that's important as well. Doing the right content right through all the different age groups. And to give a glimpse of the young people in Arsenal Academy, aged 12 to 16, this is the type of content they're doing. And they can do a little bit more advanced content because we have a little bit more contact time with them, but you can apply this to any environment, schools, national schools, clubs, individual athletes, general population, etc. You've studied all this content and you are bringing it to life, and you can bring it to life to more of the population because they need it. The World Health Organization guidelines. So mastering your own body weight, moving properly, and eventually when you have the training age, it's early here because of the big contact time, you can progress to more performance exercises. And they're young, give them movement challenges, give them something to be challenged by and enjoy. And it's not just the gym. You've studied out on the pitch, you've studied speed, endurance, development, etc. So we can support the players in all environments. We can support clients, we can support athletes in all environments with the content that you've learned. Then integrated conditioning. This is more a suggestion, advice. When you're moving into roles now in the future and you're working with a team or a sport, get to know the coach really well. Ask lots of questions. The relationship with the coach is an important factor about you achieving things, influencing things, being a success. So currently in Tipperary Senior Hurling, Colin Bonner's the manager. There he is playing. We got some old footage. Very strong, very athletic player. But there's a coach now who has studied some of the modules you've studied, who's played at a very high level, who's experienced in coaching now, so lots to be gained from coaches. Sometimes we give out about coaches a bit too much. And at the end of the day, the sport is all about the skills, the technical, tactical. That's the real important thing. We can support, we can help players achieve these great movements, achieve these great physical outputs, but the skill, the technical, tactical, is the real important thing, along with the psychosocial. And I would really suggest sitting with the coaches, listening, learning from them, like I did with this professor, Arsene Wenger, and he had a very good overview of long-term player development. I thought I could go to Arsenal and explain to him about long-term development, but he had a pretty good understanding. So I'll just turn up the volume and play his thoughts.
It's in fact very simple. You build a player like you build a house. It's basement, the basis of the player is a technique. You get that between 7 and 14 years of age. If you have no technical skill at 14, you can forget it. You will never be a football player. Then the second part is the physical aspect. The first floor is the physical talent of the player. Unfortunately, I decided between 14, 17, when you see, okay, we'll be quick enough, strong enough, and then the second floor is the tactical aspect. Does he understand the game? How can I relate to you if you have the ball running and understand where to go? And then the final part, that is decided at 18, 19 years of age, is how much do I want to be successful? Am I ready now to go to this one Friday night?
So a bit of an extreme view at the start about you can't be a footballer if you haven't mastered the skills of 14. The context, he's talking about the Premier League and those skills that need to be learned at an early age. That's a bit extreme, but he did have a good embracing view of the benefits of strength, athletic development at the 12 to 17 age group, which made life easy to work with someone like him. Now, when you're working with a coach or a multidisciplinary team in the future, another bit of advice from George Bernard Shaw is, I learned long ago, never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pigs like it. So sport can be a very high intensity, very pressurized environment. People can row, there's no need for it. Don't wrestle pigs, move away, don't end up in that situation. Here's a situation. The World Cup that France qualified because Thierry Henry handballed. There's the fitness coach, there's the manager holding them back, there's the captain. It shouldn't come to this. It's strange what pressure will do, but my advice to yourselves is never get to this situation, because no good comes from it. It's very hard to come back from this, and yeah, not to get to that situation. And I think they call it someone losing their head. In this instance, the conditioner whipped off his whistle and lost his whistle, so he was in trouble for the rest of that tournament. But there's lots to be gained from coaches, and once you listen from them, like this very good coach that Ronan O'Gara has learned a lot from, it can help you as a practitioner.
Probably, initially, one thing I've sort of realised, anyone, the first thing really got to do is actually understand who they are, and then once you've done that, you can read others. And I mean that by your strengths and what their greatest capabilities are. And then once you understand that, I think then the most important is having a clear vision. Because if you've got a clear vision, a vision translates to a leader sees where you're going, and you've got to get everyone else to help see where they're going. That's what vision is. Yeah. It's real clear. So it becomes very aspirational. You've already said it before you do it. And you've got a clear picture in your head. Okay, so that's sort of vision, and the mission is how you're going to do it. So those are two key principles. So vision, where we're going, and how we're going to get there.
And it must be so exciting to work with a coach like that has clear vision and mission, and everybody around them can all be pushing in that direction. Now that's important, to be close to your coach. What's equally important is the player-coach relationship with us conditioners and strength conditioners. So here's an example of Johnny O'Connor and a player called Glenn Camara. Now Johnny's very, very good coach, head of conditioning in Connacht. Glenn, I describe him as wild and wonderful, just like Johnny, so lively. So Johnny was thrown out of maybe 2 schools. Glenn, if he was in schools, he'd probably be thrown out of them. 2 wonderful people, and they got on really, really well. And they did great work together. So having that understanding of the person, now the person is more important than just the player or the athlete. And having that relationship that Johnny had with that player, so much good comes from that. And there's Glenn. Unfortunately, he's playing for Rangers at the moment, but anyway, he's still a nice guy. But this doesn't often happen at that high level. Glenn drove to meet Johnny when Connacht were playing Glasgow because they had that excellent relationship. So not everyone will have that. But learning more about the player, learning more about the athlete outside of their sport is another suggestion I'd give. Now, long-term athletic development. Another question, who is that player? Or who is the star player within that group? This is a trickier one. Patrick Vieira. So Patrick was an early developer, Roy was a late developer. They met eventually down the road, and both need to be looked after and understood. The early developers and the late developers. Who's the late developer in this group? Rashford, you're dead right. There he is, third from the left, and now he's a tall, athletic man as well. Now, tricky one. Back row, who's this Irish sports star in that group? Conor Murray. So playing different sports, which is a great thing, and again, a late developer. Just like all these players in rugby. Brian O'Driscoll didn't make his under-15 team in the early years. Gary Ringrose, late developer. Conor Murray, and Ron O'Gara was always small. So biological maturation. Here we go. There is Brian O'Driscoll played scrum half. Small, young man, late developer, getting smashed, but thankfully the people around him knew his talent, it was easy to see, helped him through that late developer phase of his journey. Different to that, Simon Zebo here, early developer, excelling amongst his peers. Really easy for him to run past his fellow students in the game. He could have starred in any sport, early developer. He needs to be assessed. So these are the things you've studied over your modules. Something I find fascinating, here's the under-14 team that I went to Florida with. You probably saw this before. I love sharing these development photos. If I go 6 months later, the guys in the middle have sprouted up. 6 months later, the guys in the end have sprouted up. 6 months later, the guy that was the tallest is now the smallest. Now they're passing me out. And huge change over that time. Movement change, athleticism change. We've to support them, we've to help them, not just the elite guys, all young people in all environments. And one of them in that group is Flo here. Apparently he scored for England under 21s last night. Very talented player. There he is in Disneyland. And here he is at a young age doing athletic development. He was a late developer. Here he is with his buddies, a bit smaller than them. Late developer. This is at under 15 level. He likes to get ready, and he gets ready and he does his jump. Here he is at 16. He's gone through the growth spurt that little bit later. He's doing very advanced exercises because his conditioners have helped him through that. Massive changes, but everything done safely because of the knowledge, similar knowledge to what you've studied. There he is under 18, under 23. Now he's in the first team and doing very well. So, moving on to education, another part of our approach. Really important. You have an opportunity to influence so many people with the knowledge that you have. And it's needed because we have to encourage health, well-being, development. And we need it. This is the table in terms of obesity in the countries that measure it. We're mid-table. We're not doing well. Your influence around the country is definitely needed. If that continues, these are the associated chronic diseases that can appear, that are appearing. Your profession is becoming very, very important. Here's the activity levels of the countries that measure it accurately. We're at the bottom of the table. We need a sea change. People are looking for people like you now, and they need help to get these young people active. And all we have to do is follow the guidelines of the World Health Organization and the HSC. So we want to help people become the best versions of themselves. We want to help everybody, not just the elite. And here's an example of two different people in the same sports pitch. Dave O'Doherty, a comedian, and Dennis Hickey, an international sports player. They were on the pitch at the same time at a young age. There's Dennis Hickey. And St Mary's are trying to win the Senior Cup in Leinster. St Michael's are against them. And the person that stops them is Dave O'Doherty, the comedian. So St Michael's won with the comedian leading the way, and he even picked up the trophy. So you never know what journey any of these young people will take, but we've to support them and help them with athletic development. You also have an opportunity to influence organisations, schools, communities with the knowledge that you have. And one person who did that in a huge way is Liam Hennessy. And if we look back at the RFU, if I look back, I can see all these people that he mentored and helped and brought together and educated. And from that, there was clear communication through all the provinces and the national teams. We got together and we were guided by Liam, and we came up with an approach on how to develop players in all the provinces. It was the functional approach. It was based around functional competence, movement skills, integrated conditioning, recovery. Everyone followed it. It was clear. Then Liam talked about the community. He thought it's important to have a course for clubs and schools. Very responsible. This is like 2 cohorts in 1 year. All these people bring that approach back to the schools and the clubs. The word is spreading. Liam developed all these opportunities for CPD, education, in all stages of the pathway. That made a huge difference. And by good record keeping, we can look back. And here is the Leinster under-20s, 07, and the Leinster under-20s just 3 years later with that approach applied. And you can see huge jumps in power, strength, speed. And Irish rugby benefited from it. So if we look back at the 90s, not a great decade, the team coming 4th and 5th in the Five Nations, not great success. If we reflect back, we look at poor results, a poor history of strength and conditioning in Ireland. No pathway or common approach, variation in competencies of strength conditioners, poor facilities. We were transitioning from amateur to professionalism, low playing population compared to our competitors. But then Liam and Stephen Aboud led everybody with the player pathway, with the technical model. Information, education was given, communication happened, pulling people together, influencing. Now you can do this in any environment you're working with the knowledge that you have. What happened? Excellent results in the noughties. Look at all those seconds and firsts and thirds. Excellent results in the tens. And the women's team developed and win the Six Nations. And there's the competitiveness then in that decade. So, influencing is so important. There's an enormous example by Liam over decades. Ye can do that in your environments, bit by bit, with the knowledge that ye have and your experience. And the future. Well, look at the landscape in America. Look at the associations for professional sport, for college, third level, for general population, for children, for high school, for special populations, tactical, sports science. It's a huge industry in America. And that's coming here, coming to Europe, coming to Ireland. Already the types of roles out there. Johnny O'Connor in professional sport, it's achievable. It's hard, but it's achievable. Paul Ginty in Ballina, he was a car salesman. The crash happened. He did the Setanta courses. He's a very successful gym in Ballina, thriving at the moment. And then Annie McCara, another graduate from Setanta, doing great work in Roscrea School, helping players be active. And from a 90s where we'd no history of strength conditioning, very few competent conditioners, now we see all these Irish conditioners in England leading the way in various rugby clubs, and a lot of Setanta graduates in very high positions in rugby. But there's more and more opportunities happening. Right now we've an opportunity after Christmas in Garryowen. We've opportunities with the Camogie teams here in Tipperary. We've opportunities with the development squads here in Tipperary. We've opportunities in schools. We've opportunities in universities that we're helping support. And we feel it's important to support them, to create opportunities for graduates, and it's important for the community to have the right people looking after them. So we're looking for coaches that have an interest in players, athletes, clients. We're looking for conditioners that can commit. We're looking for conditioners that are hungry to learn, and there's opportunities. So please get in touch with Setanta if you're interested. We're only doing this now about 4 months, and we've grown dramatically. We see the need for people like ye supporting the community, and the opportunities are there. But in your own area, there's amazing opportunities for you as well to improve the community. So congratulations, and well done, and thank you.
Thanks very much, Des, and a fantastic presentation. We all agree that everyone can take on board and strive to implement in both your professional and coaching careers. So I hope now everyone enjoys the rest of the evening, as it has been very well deserved. And we congratulate you once again to all our graduates in the class of 2021. So that is the end of the ceremony today, and you're free to, I suppose, go along your way, enjoy your evening, and if we obviously can't have a group photo today due to the COVID restrictions, but if you would like to come down and take a photo here, I'm sure some of the faculty here would also stand in as well. So yeah, so just be safe and well, and thanks again.